Hello, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, but mostly Jehovah's Witnesses and waking up Jehovah's Witnesses. I wanted to make this video today because of a discussion I had with someone speaking French. It was under one of my French videos. A very young person, a young 16-year-old man, who was trying to defend the fact that he's in the true religion and that I was wrong, and there was no way on earth I could make him understand that he was in a cult. So I asked myself the question: what makes someone in a cult not seeing that they are in a cult? And that applies very well to Jehovah's Witnesses, because in the case of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is the one cult that I know about, not only they don't even think for a second that they are in a cult, but they really truly believe that they are in the only true religion. And when it comes to someone being in such a cult, the expression not seeing the forest for the trees applies very well. I think that anyone like this young 16-year-old man, no matter what I told him that would prove to me that something was wrong with my religion, he was not able to see that is in a cult, because he's not able to see the forest for the trees. So I went to a site called cultwatch.com. And what's interesting for you Jehovah's Witnesses is that this site, it's not talking at all about Jehovah's Witnesses. It gives you warnings to recognize a cult, but any cult, even business cults, as a matter of fact, not even only religious cults. And they have little tags with different questions and statements to help you think and realize that you are in a cult if you are in a cult. And the very interesting thing about those little statements, it's that when you match each one of them to the religion, to the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, you see that it matches that so-called organization, so-called religion very well. So as I'm going to read you each statement, just keep in mind that they're not talking to you, Jehovah's Witnesses. They are talking to anyone to recognize that they are or not in a cult. If you can tell me that none of those matches Jehovah's Witnesses organization, we can talk about it. But good luck for that. Okay, let's see what those statements and questions are. So here is the first point, and again, this was found in cultwatch.com, and it does not refer to Jehovah's Witnesses. Keep this in mind if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses. It refers to cults in general, to any cult. First key point: any group which says that you must belong to their organization to be saved is almost certainly a cult. Wow. The first one, and we are already right on target. If you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses, if you have been one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you know that unless you belong to this organization, you won't be saved. You will be destroyed at Armageddon. So that statement saying that one way of recognizing a cult is that you must belong to this organization in order to be saved, that applies 100% to the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you have watched the court case in Australia just this past year and heard Jeffrey Jackson say that Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that they are the only true religion, the only way to be saved. He was lying under oath, by the way. So one of your governing body, at least one of them, is a big liar. And we know it's not the only one, but this one proves it. He proved it in court and in front of the cameras. So yes, this one matches 100%. The organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is the only way to be saved. So that matches this criteria of a cult, matches Jehovah's Witnesses organization. Second key point. Cult members are usually very fearful of disobeying or disagreeing in any way with their leadership. Healthy organizations, however, are not threatened by openly debating issues. Now, I know that you know that the average Jehovah's Witness would be very reluctant to disagree or disobey the leadership because they know that it would lead to some problems, some trouble for them. And many Jehovah's Witnesses have been disfellowshipped for that, for disagreeing or disobeying. And the most important term here is the disagreeing. You don't even have to disobey to be disfellowshipped as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Every single witness that has been disfellowshipped because of apostasy, that's all they were doing. They were disagreeing with some of the doctrines of the leadership. They were not disobeying Jehovah, but they were disfellowshipped. So this matches again the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. And as the second part of the statement mentions, healthy organization, however, do not make a big deal of anyone that would disagree with them. But we know that especially religious cults and even sometimes some type of business cults, you're not allowed to even disagree with the leadership, because if you are, you're out, basically. So again, this one matches the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses. Key point number 3 here. Beware of a group that tells you who you can and cannot see. The organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is notorious about telling their members who they can and cannot see in 2 different ways. The first way is, once you become one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you are to limit your relationship with anyone that is outside of your religion, even your family, extended family, and relatives. They're not telling you not to speak to them at all, but they wish they could. But anyway, they may be not telling you that you should not speak to them at all, but they would encourage you to speak to them, to associate with them as least as possible. And in some cases, they would even encourage you not to associate too much with the ones that are in the religion, but they consider to be bad association. And the second way they tell you who to see and not to see is when you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses and you decide to leave. You are going to lose, like I have, like thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses who have left that cult. You are going to lose your family members, friends, everybody you have ever known. If you were born in this religion, in this cult, you will be losing every single person you have ever known. So Jehovah's Witnesses, the leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses is notorious in telling you who you can and cannot see. In the case of someone disfellowshipped, meaning, out of the religion either because they decided to leave or they were thrown out, you will be cut off from every single family members that you have that is in the religion. And that includes parents, children, siblings, and everything in between. So yes, another sign of a cult and another sign that you are in a cult, Jehovah's Witnesses, you are told who you can and cannot see. Again, remember, this is from cultwatch.com. They're not talking about you guys, but it's right in the middle. They are talking about you without knowing it. I wonder why. Here goes the fourth one. If you are instructed by a group not to read information critical to the group, then that is a sign of a cult. Now, if they had wanted to write this specifically for the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, they could not have written better. I mean, it's amazing. I love this because this was not written for Jehovah's Witnesses organization. That's what makes it even more powerful. It was written to recognize any cult under the sun, even business cults. Can you imagine that? Yes, if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you are forbidden to read anything that is critical to the organization. You are forbidden to watch videos like this one that you are watching right now. And if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses and you're watching this right now, you probably have your things in your ears. You probably make sure that nobody can hear you. You probably logged in with a fake name, and you're not showing your face because you know that if they find out that you are watching videos like this one, or if they find out that you belong to any Facebook group that is against the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, you'll be in trouble. You'll be called by the elders and you'll have a judicial meeting with them, and most likely you'll be disfellowshipped if you unless you really agree, you really like swear your mother and father that you will quit doing that, and that you cry a lot, and that you show that you are really sorry. But most likely if you're not doing all that, you're going to be out. So this again really matches so sadly. You are not to read or listen to anything, any material that is critical to that criticize the organization, I should say, of Jehovah's Witnesses. Here, that next key point goes on to say, legitimate groups have nothing to fear from their members reading critical information about them. Indeed, legitimate groups have nothing to fear if their members are reading some critical information, some information that may be critical to them. First of all, anyone that has no reproach definitely does not have to fear if anyone else is saying something negative about them. Think about any product that exists on the planet that you can buy online. Whether you want to buy a camera, whether you want to reserve a night at a bed and breakfast, you are going to read some different reviews about previous customers. And some of those reviews may be good, some of those reviews may be bad. But usually they know it's part of the deal. They don't really care, because if it's a good product, if it's a good deal, they know that for the most part they are going to have good reviews, and whatever people may read about them is not going to be a big deal of a problem. On the other hand, when you are trying to hide a lot of truth, like in the case of the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, you do not want your members to go online and watch those videos and read those articles. That is why, if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you were probably never told to go watch that Royal Commission in Australia last year, because just by watching this, that was, just on TV, just a regular program, just that alone was showing how many lies you are told on a regular basis as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So that is why the organization does not want you to go anywhere else than jw.org, because even when one member of the governing body and all those elders are in court, they can't help but look bad by saying the truth or look bad by lying. Either way, this organization is so bad that they manage to be bad both ways. So that is why the organization, your organization, does not want you to go outside of jw.org, because they know you are going to find out all the bad stuff about them, and there are plenty, so much of it. That's why, they don't want you to go there. Key point number 5, never-ending compulsory meetings and tasks is a sign of a cult. Now, I wonder if this one matches the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I guess it does. Jehovah's Witnesses organization is well known for compulsory meetings and never-ending tasks. This is actually one of the main reasons why the average Jehovah's Witness is so tired all the time. Because back in my days, we had 3 meetings per week. There were really 5 meetings divided into 3 meetings. There was what they called the book study, another meeting that they used to call, I don't know what they call it today, but it used to be called the Kingdom Ministry meeting. And then you had your public talk and the Watchtower study mixed in one meeting on Sundays. 3 meetings a week. And you are supposed to study an average of an hour per meeting. That's the really minimum, that would take you about an hour to study before each of those 3 meetings. It could be more if you really wanted to study the way they tell you to study. So think about it. You have 3 meetings a week, on average 2 hours each. And you need to study for those meetings, on average 3 hours a week. That does not include going in service, which is going door to door, preaching the good news to people. That will take you an average, let's say an average of 5 hours a month. It could be less, but for the most part, it could be around that or more. If you are a pioneer, it will be, now I think it's 70 hours a month for a regular pioneer. It was 90 hours a month when I used to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So yes, the organization, and I'm forgetting, the assemblies. There are 3 assemblies every year. One is a 1-day assembly, one is a 2-day assembly, and one is a 3-day assemblies. I used to hate those assemblies myself because I'm not someone comfortable in a big crowd. And, for me, sitting 2 hours for a meeting, that's okay. Sitting for 8 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours at a time, very hard for me. So, yes, there are some compulsory meetings and tasks to do all the time as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. As a matter of fact, when you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you don't have a life. Because if you work your 8 hours a day at your job, plus all I just mentioned as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and you still have time to do anything else, well, you're very good. So yes, that one sadly matches as well. And this is the advice that coldwatch.com is giving you. Be especially eager to surf the net if your leaders have told you not to. You see, I have to admit that when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I listened to them about not checking anything outside of the organization about the organization. As a matter of fact, at one time, just at one time, I remember by accident, I found a site that I could tell right away was against Jehovah's Witnesses, and I got so nervous and scared I clicked out. And why did I click out so nervous and scared? Because cults are notorious and very good at putting fear in people. So if you are watching this video today, you are braver than I was when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So there is hope for you. Because if I was not even daring doing what you're doing now, when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and now I'm on this side of the camera, there is hope for you. That means hopefully that you are waking up. It means that maybe you have some questions about your religion, whatever it is. I hope it's positive because you are in a cult. I never thought that one day I would wake up and start making apostate videos. But, now that I am, I really feel that I'm helping. Actually, many people in the comments, they let you know, what they feel about your videos. Some people say they hate it, and that's fine with me. But you know what's most important for me? The ones who are saying that I'm helping people to wake up. This really makes you feel good. And since I'm a coach by trade, it makes me feel great. I feel that's an extension of my profession. That's what I do. I help people with their lives. And as an ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, if I can help you, if I can do my little cent or my 2 cents, anything that I can do to help anyone, even if it was one person, that would be great. And another thing I wanted to mention to end this is that, Jehovah's Witnesses organization leadership, they think they're very smart in forbidding their members to speak to their family members once they're out, whether they are disfellowshipped or whether they've never been disfellowshipped like I have never just left. When they tell those family members, shun those people, well, they are actually shooting themselves in the foot. Because myself, but also many other apostates that make video that I know is the case as well, we have started making videos for this very reason. If they had not prevented my brother, my aunt, from speaking to me and preventing me from seeing my mother when she was dying, I would have probably never started making those videos. But it's because of this that I started making videos. Because that anger, that frustration, because I'm a human being, and we do have angers and frustrations of being shunned, being treated like we have the plague by our own family members. That has to come out somehow. And a very healthy way for me that I found is to warn people, do not get into this religion because you are going to lose your family. Is it worth it? I don't think so. So that's why I'm making those videos, by the way. And remember that advice from cultwatch.com. If your leaders are telling you not to go outside of their organization and read other people write about them, what other people say about them, you should do it. even more. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because I'm going to make many more videos. And in the meantime, bye bye, and I'll see you in the next video.